So hey folks, this is John with Ozarks Back Roads with you today. So I'm out in the woods today. I'm on the much maligned but nevertheless capable, our 2023 CFMOTO Ibex 800T. It's a new model for the USA here in 2023. It's been around in other parts of the world for about a year or so, known as just the 800MT, but they got a new name for it over here in the States. So we'll take it for a ride today. We'll be out in the woods on gravel roads. We'll probably get in some sand and some deeper gravel, some steep hills, kind of see how the suspension works on the CFMOTO. Take a look here at these MITOS EO7 Plus tires. They got a little grip to them, it looks like. Got some pretty good lugs on the sides of them there. So I think they'll probably hold on a gravel road pretty well. So this rear tire, it's got some pretty good lugs on it, pretty deep. It looks like it should work well in the gravel, get down and get a hold of it. I've also mounted up a set of accessory crash bars. There's actually a second set of bars that go back and protect the engine cases a little bit. And it's pretty much caged up at this point with all the bars on it. But those are CFMOTO. They go right over the original bars. And it gives you a little more protection there. So if I should happen to drop it in the gravel or sand or something, why, I think my tank and the panels up here should be fine. So stick around, we'll take the mighty CFMOTO for a ride out in the woods here in the Ozarks and see how it does. All right, let's go for a ride. So this is the first time I've had this bike out on a dirt road or anything. So we got the blue line going here on our GPS. We shouldn't get lost. I've been down through here a few times. I should be fine. Look at all these dogs. They want to race. Look at them. They're just raring to go. Hello, puppies. We'll leave them to their garden, their place there. They're doing a good job. This guy's got sheep. And lots of baby sheeps. So I'm really digging the CFMOTO. It's a blast on the blacktop in the twisties and stuff. It really goes through that stuff good. It's pretty nice on the highway as well. Gets on down the road good. Got a good road gear on it, and a pretty good low first gear is nice and low on it too. So they've got a big wide spread of gear ratios, which is what you need on an adventure bike. You need a low first gear and you need a high sixth gear so you can travel, get to where you need to be, and get to where the good riding is. So I appreciate that. The Tiger is not blessed with that. It's got a high first gear and a close ratio. The gears are kind of close together. So you get on the highway, it's too low geared. And if you change the sprockets and gear it up a little bit for the highway, well then first gear's so high you can't use it on the dirt and stuff. You can't get going on a hill. So this is much better. I think I'm gonna like the gear ratios on this bike, the way they're spread out. Suspension's a little bit more firm than the Tiger, but it doesn't have as much as the Tiger, so it's gonna have to be firmer to keep from blasting through the stroke. It's got about 6.5 inches on the front, 6 3/4 on the back. Boy, it's doing good. This is really loose and got some sand in it. And it's just tracking right through that. No problem. And it's not skating around on top of the gravel that's on the road either. The standing position on the Ibex 800T. I'm going to say is pretty darn good. It's better than my Tiger, and I haven't put any bar risers on this, and I don't believe I'm going to. I think they're fine. The standing position is really good. This little creek right here is it is pretty low. Got a little bit of watercress. There's a spring right here. You can see the watercress. So the spring's running, but the creek itself over here is not doing a whole lot. The bike stops pretty good on the gravel. The traction, or the ABS, you can't turn it off without, just pulling the fuse, the ABS fuse. But it's not very intrusive. The tires slide a little bit, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. This is kind of a cool place. All right. Yeah, this gravel is like nothing for this. It's really good. Bike has a quick shifter on it, up and down. It works pretty slick. It's nice for changing gears when you're standing up. You don't have to reach for that clutch. Yeah, it'll slide the back tire. So it'll give you all the braking that you can get on a downhill. Probably won't let your rear end pass you, but that might be a good thing. So this is Bryant Creek. It's got a little water, but it's pretty low for this time of year. I would expect this to be a lot higher and a little more muddy. It's really clear. Ooh, up and over. Let me try this out. Yeah, it goes right through that. The front tire sunk a little bit, and it didn't try to turn the bar sideways. It just tracked straight through it. That's perfect. An old rock building. This used to be the city, or the county seat for this county way back in the 1800s. But they moved it. Built a proper courthouse. This will be interesting right here. This is pretty deep and brand new. It's a little skatey, but what do you expect? That's some big old chunky rock right there. The tires, I think, are going to be okie dokie. They're really good on the road. They don't make noise. They go through the twisties good, and so far I'm really liking them on this gravel road. Beautiful spot right here. And a great big bluff up high along the river, or creek, little creek. It's got a little hard rock. I'm not going to say it's a shut-in, but it's got some hard rock right here that hadn't weathered down very well, making a little fall. This little KTM engine, this 790 KTM, 799 I guess. Boy, it's a sweet little motor. I see why people like those KTMs so well. These things, these motors are, whoo, they're pretty serious. This is quite a steep hill right here. Off of the creek, it's pretty steep. Might be a crook or two in it as well. Got some gravel right there. Quick shifter's pretty fun. I've never had a quick shifter on a bike, but I think I could get used to it. Especially off-road when you need to downshift or upshift when you're standing up. That's going to be pretty handy. This thing just flies through these curves. It just loves it. It wants to lean over and go, go, go. The chassis and everything was designed by Kiska. It's exactly the same dimensionally and how it's all set up as a 790 Adventure, a KTM. And it handles and rides just like a KTM. The motor feels like a KTM. Well, it is a KTM. So it's no surprise that it handles good and it works good off-road. I was hoping that would be the case. We got another creek, another spot on the creek down here. The creek's quite a bit bigger. We're downstream several miles from where we were. I'm really amazed how well this bike, it just goes straight on this stuff. There's no dancing around or anything. That is really nice. This bike has pretty good ground clearance. I don't remember what the spec is. 7.5 or 8 inches, 7 3/4. I think the Tiger is probably around 8.5. So this isn't bad. It's quite a bit more than the V-Strom, the 650 XT that I had. I think it only had like 6.5 inches or 6 3/4. I raised it some, but it wasn't a lot. This bike does not have any traction control. That's one of the places they've saved some money there. It's like a Tenere 700. It just doesn't have any traction control. It's got two rider modes. The rain that we're in is dumbed down quite a bit on the throttle response. If you gouge it and the rear end comes around, it's up to you to straighten it back up. It ain't gonna help you. So this is Bryant Creek again. We're downstream from where we were earlier. You can see the creek's quite a bit bigger. Right here, it's really pretty. Got some water moving under the bridge. Got a little step right here. Ooh. Got some rebar hanging out of this slab down onto this slab right here. They might want to put a little fresh asphalt right there and kind of patch that up. So yeah, we got some flow going right here. Beautiful. Really pretty. We had a pretty good look at Bryant Creek right there. That is really nice. I'm starting to think about some groceries. I know it's hard to believe I'd be talking about groceries. There's a little wide spot in the road up here that happens to have a restaurant. They might feed me. I'm pretty interested in that right now. Oh, I forgot I have a quick shifter. I keep using the clutch. It'll take a while to get over that. Oh, there's a lot of people here having some lunch. They call it a trout ranch. They charge you to fish in they have a hatchery down here and they raise trout, release them in this spring creek and charge you to fish. And this is a possibility that we can get some groceries right here. Well, I was right. They did feed me. They didn't let me down. Just beautiful down here on this little spring creek. Got a pretty good look at the old mill and the dam there. The water coming over it. A few people fishing down there. It was really pretty. Here's a little spring that comes out of the bluff right here. Out from the bottom of the bluff. It runs under the road and out into the main spring creek. There's springs all down along this creek, just every little bit. There's another one right up here. That's the hatchery. That's their tanks down there for their trout that they hatch. So they grow trout in those and then turn them loose in the creek down there. Those people that are fishing, they charge them to fish. I've got one more little dirt road that runs to the creek that I've never been on. I'm gonna do a little exploratory on it and see if I can get to the end of it. So I've never been on this little road. We're gonna find out where it goes. Yeah, the rain mode on this is really good on these gravel roads. It gives you a lot more throttle control, especially down low. Our little road Peter played out on us up here in the woods. It just kind of quit into a little turnaround area. Sometimes that's the way it goes. It don't go where you think it should. So we're going to turn around and head out. I'm really impressed with how the ABS works on this. It's actually quite good on the downhill descent. On the loose stuff, it'll let you slide just a little bit, but if you get too much, it'll ease up just a touch. It modulates the rear brake a lot better than I can. See, this is extremely steep right here. Yeah, it lets me slide. This is just pretty good. This bike is, I'm liking it more and more. I was really afraid I'd be disappointed today on my first adventure out on this kind of stuff, but I'm happy to say that is not the case at all. I'm impressed. For the money, for what this bike cost, this is a pretty good deal. That's a cool old log barn right there. I'd say that thing's been there a day or two. Well, I know where this road goes now. I can mark that on my map, put a big red X on it. It doesn't go anywhere. We'll go down here and look at the creek one more time. We're going to cross over it again. And it's a lot bigger down here. We're quite a few miles downstream from where we were last time. We didn't drop the bike in the sand or gravel today along these creeks. That's a good day. It might have hurt my feelings if I dropped my brand new bike first time out. I like to at least get them dirty a few times before I go to skinning up the crash bars and whatnot. So here's Bryant Creek one more time. Quite a bit bigger down here. Normally it's really low right now. Really pretty though. It's not a good place to stop. Beautiful house right there, right on the creek. Nice view to look out your window in the morning right there. So just evaluating the Ibex 800T here, our CFMOTO. First time out in the gravel and stuff in the sand and some different things with it. I think it's really good. Off-road, it's just as good off-road as it is on-road. I am extremely pleased with it. I was afraid I'd be disappointed in the suspension or the way it handled on the gravel and in the deeper gravel and sand. Not the case at all. It tracks excellent through that stuff, a lot better than my Tiger does. Even though it doesn't have quite the suspension travel as the Tiger, it still handles a lot better on the gravel roads, especially when it gets a lot of marbly gravel on top of the hard pack road. The Tiger really dances around on that stuff, and it may be the tires, but it's always done that even with different tires. So I think it's a lot to do with the bike. This thing tracks through it and it does not dance around under me. The initial evaluation on the Ibex 800T from CFMOTO is 2 thumbs up. It's excellent on the highway. It's a blast in the twisties. The little motor is really a fun motor. It wants to go. It's got a lot of get up and go to it, and the bike does excellent on gravel roads and in sand and deep gravel. It tracks through that stuff real well. So for now, I'm pretty happy. I'm sure I'll find something I don't like about it. I always do, but I'm pretty tickled with it at this point. I invite you all to come back and see me. We'll do some more trips on this Ibex and maybe go camping a time or two before we head out west. Until I catch up with you again, you all take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next time.